So from this point forward, you're being attacked, you're being bullied, and you're being coached on how to protect yourself. But nobody's telling you any rational way of dealing with conflict, because you're living in an environment where everything is violent and you have to defend yourself. And you got adults teaching you a violent way of protecting yourself. And you're growing through life learning these skills. No communication skills, no conflict resolution skills, just straight up violence. So how did your life pin up after that? Like, you learning these things? Tell us some more about you growing up as a teenager per se.
As of this time, I remember I was working selling newspaper. I started selling newspaper at the age of 10, and it wasn't only me. There was a bunch of other children that was Cape Verdeans that was in America that went from Cape Verde to America just like me. And we used to wake up around 4:30 in the morning, and we start working at 5:30. But we're working in the winter, December, January, February, March, very cold time. And we're selling newspaper from 5:30 to 7:30. And I remember my hands used to be so cold, they used to be like this. And at times I had to go like to a restaurant nearby where I'm selling newspaper to buy hot chocolate to help me with the cold, because it's too cold. And at the age, I'm too young to even be selling newspaper. But I was doing that to help my mother that was going through a difficult time, because having to work and she don't have no education, she's not gonna get paid the money that she deserved to get paid. And I believe that she was getting paid under minimum wage. Because I remember the fact us going to churches, St. Patrick Church on Columbia Road, to go give food every Thursday to help us at the house, because the money that she was getting paid was not enough to help us with the food. And the situation was very difficult. So at the time I'm working, I'm getting paid about $75. I used to bring the money to my mother, and I asked if it's possible to open a bank account for me to put a little bit of money there, and the rest that she could keep it. In the end, my mother came to tell me that she didn't save the money for me, that all those years that she was the one that was feeding me and my sisters. And it hurt me, because I was thinking that maybe if she put a little bit of money on the side, it would encourage me more to work, and one day maybe I could buy a bike or buy a little something to make me feel happy, to give me encouragement to want to keep working. And in the end, at this time, I went from 10, 11, 12, I'm on 13. I went from 5th grade because I graduated from 5th grade. I graduated straight grade A student, not missing one day from school. So I was very in love with school. One of the purpose was that I was very good at math, and I'm getting presents, meaning the certificate of being a good child at every week nearly. And because of the fact that I had that little young girl that I was liking, it gave me a purpose to keep going forward. Now I'm in the 6th grade. I'm over there at McCormick School in Columbia Point. And at that time, I'm 13 years old. I started hanging around with childhood friends, which eventually showed me marijuana, that if I smoke it, it'll elevate me and make me feel big, make me feel courage, and make me do things that I wouldn't normally do. And I remember the first day I was smoking it, they gave it to me to take 2 puffs, and I smoked it. I pulled nearly half of one thing like this on one poke. And I hold it in because they told me to hold it in. Afterwards, I took it out, I started coughing, and I started saying, yo, where's everybody at? I'm not seeing nobody. And at that time, I started stealing bikes, 13 years old. I'm drinking, I'm smoking cigarettes, I'm smoking marijuana, because I'm around people that showed me love. And I'm thinking in my mind that this is true love, because I'm looking for love. I'm not finding it elsewhere. So I'm thinking to myself, this is where love is. This is the way that things is done. So I'm just going to follow this path, because they're showing me money. They're giving me pizza. The money is helping me to go play video games. It's making me feel happy. So I'm thinking this is what is right. So I go forward. And in the end, I came to be in the 7th grade. I'm in the 7th grade. I started working. I'm still selling newspaper. I told my boss that I'm not liking school no more. Can I stay longer till 9 o'clock and not work no more? you not work no more now, not go to school no more? He said, yeah, if you want to. And I remember he said, okay, you're going to go from the amount that you're selling to 200 papers, and I got a nice place for you to sell. You're going to sell all your papers, you're going to win more money. And I started getting tips. I said, okay, I'll be able to help myself, be able to help my mother more. But at the same time, I'm leaving school, which they say education opens doors. And now I'm not getting the education that I need to open doors, but I got a boss that's not worrying about my education. He's more worried about his money. So I'm working from 5:30 to 9 o'clock selling newspaper, and eventually I started doing things that a child that's supposed to be in school, like I said, I'm smoking weed, I'm drinking alcohol, and I'm giving money to people that's 21 and over to go buy the alcohol, and they actually take the money and go to the liquor store because I'm too young to buy it, and they buy it for me, and me and my friends are drinking it, and this is how things started unrolling to me being the person that I eventually come to turn future-wise.
Wow. You have a boss who's an adult, you're telling them you're planning on quitting school, and he said, yeah, fine. You're looking at profit, like how you can make money. That's crazy, that's madness. Most kids won't even contemplate this. This is a summer job where it's a quick kind of thing, but not quitting school to earn money, and you don't have parents, you don't have nobody around to tell you otherwise, and you got these friends of yours, and you're drinking, and you're smoking, you're doing all kinds of crazy things as a early preteen or a teenager. Again, it's madness, man, straight up madness. And it's building up to a chaotic situation that will unfold later on. So let's keep going again. How did it get after that? Because apparently it's going to get worse. It's building up to, again, a critical situation.
Like I said, I'm in the 7th grade. I drop out of school. I'm smoking marijuana. I'm drinking alcohol. I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm hanging around people that's doing all kinds of stupid stuff. I'm stealing bikes. I'm starting to break car windows to get change in it, to get other things, like if I see a computer or a camera or a phone or anything that'll help me to make money to take care of my marijuana habit that I have. I'm working, but eventually I'm smoking so much, the money that I get from work and giving my mother and the rest that I stay with is not enough for me, because I remember me being a kid that didn't have the essential things like a Puma and Adidas or a Nike or clothes that other kids had when they was in school. So when I go to school, these kids are making fun of me. I remember me having a pair of sneakers that had 5 stripes on it, and the Adidas would have 3 stripes. So I went home with a felter, with a marker, and I painted the last one and the first one, and I left the other 3, and I designed the flower of Adidas in the back. And I'm going to school saying to myself, now I got Adidas, I could blend in with the crowd, and these kids are like, ah, ha, 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 you got fake Adidas, you got May 100, and you're over here doing this. And I remember that not having the clothes because my mother didn't have the money to buy me the clothes that other children have, so I could blend in and feel wanted just like the other kids. And it was very difficult. I ended up starting stealing sneakers that was being dried on porches. I started stealing clothes that was being dried. Other times I would climb up to like 2nd, 3rd floor, 4th floor porches to steal these things. And I remember going to school and everybody's looking at me like, okay, Rocky got good clothes now, Rocky got good sneakers now we could accept him, he's a part of us now. But at other times I wasn't wanted because I didn't have these things that these other children had. I cannot blame my mother because my mother tried to do the best she can with the economy that she had at the time. Like I said, my main objective is just to let people know what I went through in life to get me to where I got to. And I just want to let people know that life isn't what it seems until you get to put your feet in the person's shoes for you to understand the person instead of pointing the finger at the person.
Wow. Well, again, a lot of commentary that we got from, our people, let me call them that, our followers. I don't like using that term, followers, but our brothers and sisters. It's really what you just said. It put it in a focus Because a lot of them are being inspired by your story. Like you said, you're not saying these things just to talk about, badly about your family or your parents or none of that. You're telling a story to inspire people. And it is inspiring a lot of people because now they can relate. They really know, or at least they, to a certain degree, they understand how difficult it is in the world for a lot of people, especially you, telling that story. And we're getting, we're accomplishing our objective pretty much when they listen to these stories, when they listen to your story. And we can't really emphasize that enough, that we're getting there. You know what I mean? So how was it, your lifestyle? Because a lot of us see people, we see people going to prison, we see males going to prison, but we don't understand how that lifestyle is, because people glorify it in movies, in music videos. So we read books, we watch cowboys versus Indians, and as kids, we want to be gangsters. So tell us how it was growing up in that lifestyle.
Okay, like I said, I had dropped out of school. Now I'm doing all these things, like I'm still in cars. I was taught how to drive a car. I was taught how to sell drugs. And I remember me, 16 years old now, I used to help my aunt with her food that she used to go do shopping from the supermarket, and she used to put in the house. And my present for me helping her put the food in her house was a rolled marijuana for me to smoke, because I was smoking at the time. I remember I had an uncle that used to call me. He used to give me $10 for me to go buy marijuana for us to come smoke. And I'm living with these figures that tell me that you have to go to school and be a good person and amount to be somebody. And at the same time, they're showing me and they're telling me that these things that I'm doing, which is smoking weed, I'm buying it. They're not being an example for me, and I'm thinking that what they're doing is good, so I'm doing it too, thinking that that's the best way to live life at the moment. And like I said, I'm still in cars. I'm starting to rob taxi drivers. At the time, I was robbing like 5 cabs a day, and I'm getting like $500, $1,000, $2,000 in one night, and I'm saying to my life, wow, this is a lot of money. This is a way to make money now. Now I'm being able to help my family better. I'm being able to help myself. I'm wearing good clothes. I'm starting to see girls coming to me, and I'm bringing attention to them because I got money now, and I got good clothes now, and I got the essential things that every other child should have. And I'm not using it an excuse for me to do wrong to get these things. It's just that I went to a point in my life where I thought that these things was the best way for me to get it, because the way I was brought up and taught how to get things. I remember this guy, he was an older guy, and he used to teach me how to make money, and it was all illegal money. And I said to myself, since he's older, he must know what is right. So he's teaching me how to make money. So I said to myself, this is the way to make money. So I'm at 16 now, I'm still in cars, I'm drugging up like no tomorrow, I'm committing robberies, and I started going to DYS, which means Department of Youth Services in America. There are times that I will go there for 2 weeks, 1 week, days. I'm going to the police station like every other day. I'm getting processes, more processes. Sometimes my mother takes me out of the police station. Sometimes she goes take me out of the DYS, which is Department of Youth Services, which is prison for young children. And things are going by. I'm getting worse and worse. The inner pain that I have, the attention that I'm looking for, and the things that I'm trying to call people's attention to try to show them that I don't want to do these things. I want somebody to help me get out of this, but I don't know how to get out of this. So I'm going for it, and I'm doing things, and times is winding down. Things are getting worse and worse for me. I'm 18 now, 19 years old, and I remember at the age of 18, I'm living at a house which I'm thinking I'm old enough to go live at my own house. I was living at my sister before that. I remember my mother put my sister out the house because she got pregnant, was 17 years old. And I remember I was 15 and she threw her out the house. Now we have to go live on our own. And I remember us paying rent, moving out the house at nighttime because we couldn't pay the rent. So we're looking at two child, 17 and 15, running around trying to pay rent, moving at nighttime to escape paying rent because life is so difficult because my sister has a child, she has to work, and I had to take care of the child. But I don't even have time to take care of my nephew because I'm stealing, I'm going to prison like no tomorrow. I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing, which I'm supposed to be in school. And eventually I went to live with 18 years old with other people that does nothing but bad things like selling drugs and stealing to be able to pay the rent that we was paying at the time was $160. And I remember one day somebody put a bomb in the house that we was living in, and I'm sitting on top of the bed, me and a friend of mine, which was Eric, and the bomb explodes. And I remember the impact was so hard that the two of us lifted from the bed and we went slowly all the way to the ceiling, and our head hit the ceiling, but not hard. And it was like somebody took care of us and brought us back down on the bed. And all of a sudden, I'm conscious. I said, wow, what just happened? I try to run from the front to go down the stairs to get out the house, and smoke and fire is chasing me and Eric. And I said, okay, we're on the second floor. We could jump out the window, front window, and smoke and fire is coming out. And it's like we're living a movie, and the smoke is chasing us. And I remember in my mind that that house had a fire escape in the back of it. I said, okay, we'll get out to the back. I told Eric, you get out first. And I remember he got out first on the fire escape. And the fire escape is like it has a spring on it. Every time you put your step on it, it will start going down. And it started going down. He got down, I got down. As soon as we got down, the fire escape started going back up. And I remember taking a turn at the house, and all of a sudden, the house just fell apart and collapsed. And I said to myself, wow, this house collapsed, but after the both of us got out of here. And I remember the next day, the house was all in ruins, and I lost everything that I had in that house, and all my friends lost everything. Now I have to go back to my sister's house to go live with her again. And at this time, I'm about 18, 19 years old. And I remember living with my sister over there in Dorchester. There was a point in my life where my sister was living there, and I'm running from the cops, I'm running from the courthouses because I was making a lot of stupid mistakes. And every time I would go to the police station, I would give a false name. And when I go to the courthouse, they would just think that I'm a person that doesn't have no crime and it's the first time, so they would let me out. And I remember I was on probation. They gave me a 2-year suspended sentence. When 19 years old, I never went to my probation officer. And I remember it was March 20th. And the inner voice inside of me told me that I'm tired of running. Why don't I give myself up and just go do the time that they had gave me of the suspended sentence? And I remember at the time, it was March 20th. So I go to Dorchester Courthouse. And I remember my probation officer came out and said, wow, Joaquim, Rocky, you're here? You're actually here? You got a 2-year suspended sentence and you never came to come see me every Friday like you were supposed to. Now I gotta give you that 2-year suspended sentence. So I go, they gave me the 2-year suspended sentence, and I'm over there at the new prison, which was the New Day Island next to Boston City Hospital. They gave me my 2-year suspended sentence, and I remember calling my sister at home, and I told her that they just gave me the 2 years, and I'm crying because now I'm an adult, I'm facing the 2 years. And I remember I used to have a few friends. We used to be at this restaurant called Tasty Chicken, and at the time we here at that Tasty Chicken before I went to prison. We used to be there every day smoking marijuana. We used to be in there so much, 20, 30 people. We used to dirty up the place, and I remember I was the only one that used to like to take care of the place and clean it. And I remember the owner used to tell me to talk to them, to tell them to get out because we're making the customers afraid. They're losing customers because of that. And now I'm in prison. It's March, and I remember the next month was April. Now I remember the inner voice told me to give myself up. I'm in prison in March, in April, I'm in front of the television watching the news, and I remember watching at the same restaurant that we used to be at every day. My friends was all there, and they committed a homicide and killed somebody, and I'm watching them being handcuffed and taken to prison. Time goes by. About 1 year later, all of them was given life in prison. And I said to myself, wow, I was with them in March. And for some reason, I listened to my inner voice, and my inner voice told me to give myself up. And I listened to my inner voice, which I never listened to before. I gave myself up, and the next month comes April. My friends get picked up for committing a homicide, which I was supposed to be there with them if I didn't give myself up. All of a sudden, they're doing life in prison. Time goes by. I come and get out. We're 20 years old, which was 1993. I was 20 years old. I got out. I wanted to be a good person. I remember going to prison with 62 kilos. Now I'm 89 kilos. I started training a lot. And in the prison, I went through a lot of difficulty because I met some enemies there that I had problems with, which eventually I had to defend myself to get by in prison. And then I got out. And when I got out, there was a good friend of mine that was in prison that came to die of a heart attack, and made me feel so sad that my friend that became a very good friend of mine, which was Georgie, in prison, died. It hurt me a lot. So now I'm out. I come out in the year 1993, which was about September. I met this young girl, which was Madalena, which eventually became the child of my mother a couple of years after. What was so funny was that after I got out, I didn't stop smoking marijuana. I attacked smoking marijuana, drinking, and smoking cigarettes. I'm going to nightclubs like no tomorrow. A lot of girls are starting to like me. I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world because when you get out of prison, you come with fresh flesh and you're looking so good and you got a good body on you. All these girls are showing you this supposed love. So now I'm over here with 20 years old. Time goes by. Eventually, I'm still doing stupid things. I'm still stealing. I'm still smoking. I'm still selling drugs. 10 months go by. I got picked up again. I went to go do another 1 year in prison. Now I'm in Dedham, House of Correction, doing the 1 year in prison. Now I'm at 21 years old. Things go by and things get worse, more and more. The cops are looking for me. The courts are looking for me. And eventually, I was running from the police from 1994 till 1998. And I remember one day, I'm at my mother's house, and at the time, I was about 25 years old. And I'm at my mother's house, and I'm on the run. I remember the cops went there early in the morning, about 7 o'clock, about 40 police cars. They go there to my mother's house and they pick me up in front of my sister, my mother, my stepfather, and all my nephews and niece. And I'm over here embarrassed that I have to go to prison in front of all these people. And time is going by. They take me to the police station. Eventually, they take me to New Hampshire. From New Hampshire, they take me to New York. From New York to Louisiana. 6 months later, I was deported to Cape Verde.
And how did it feel going through, again, another critical phase of your life? You're about to be deported. You left Cape Verde. You were, 7 years old, grew up in America. Now you're being deported to a foreign country, per se. Because your whole lifetime, your adult, well, not adult, but your teenage years, you spent in America. And now you're about to be deported to America.
Okay.
Tell us about what was going through your head at that time. Like, again, you're coming back to that situation that you left as a child. Now you have to face it again.
Okay. At the time, I was 26 years old. I remember it was June 15, 1999. I was in Louisiana. How you call it? It's an institution for immigrants that's about to be deported. And I stayed there for 6 months. And eventually I signed the paper because at the time I had 92 process, meaning that I was risking going to prison for more than 20 years in America. I had two choices. You either sign the paper or come to Cape Verde, or risk being found with all these situations that I was supposed to pay for. So I said, let me sign. They won't find out all these situations. So I got deported. And I remember I came to Praia. I was supposed to go to Fogo. My father was reformed from America. He was in Fogo. I said, I got a couple of deportees, that's my friends in Praia. Let me go to Praia. Praia is where the movement is. That's where I want to be at. That way, if I want to make some money, I can make it where the movement's at. And I remember the first day I came, I went, how you say it, the FBI of Cape Verde, which they call Judiciário, picked me up at the airport. They took me to their headquarters in Chad. They asked me a couple of questions. They told me not to do nothing stupid. And I remember my brother-in-law, which had a kid with my sister in America, he picked me up. He took me to a restaurant, which was Dragueiro at the time in Chad. It's still there. And another friend of mine, he started showing me, as soon as I got out of the police station, stupid things on smoking and drinking and how to make money illegally. Now I'm being attacked on how to do things the same way that made me get deported instead of positive things. So eventually, I'm deported. I come again. I meet a negative environment. I meet negative people that was deported just like me, doing the things that they got deported, and I eventually get deported. I'm back into the same type of people that I was surrounded, I was doing bad things with. Now they're trying to show me the same lifestyle. And I don't know any better. I don't know nothing else. So I jumped right back in it and I started smoking again. I'm drinking again. I remember one day I'm at Gamboa at this nightclub called Club Náutica. I drank a whole 1.5 bottle of Ponche de Tambarina. And I don't even remember how I got home. When I got home, I was at somebody's house that was deported, and his girlfriend was deported. The only thing that I remember, I pulled on myself the whole night, and I slept on top of my, how you say it, in Creole, coco. I'm sleeping on my coco, and my whole face is surrounded with coco, and the whole night, the house is smelling. In the morning, a whole bunch of flies is there, and now I have to see the girl and the boyfriend tell me, na minha porco, se que ele fama de bem casa. I threw up the whole night. I'm sleeping in my crap, and I'm waking up. Now I gotta clean the whole house. And all of this was because of me drinking of garrafa de 1,5 litro de Ponche de Tambarina Mimissó. And all the bad things that I was doing in America, I stopped picking up in Cape Verde. I started selling weed to get by. I remember one day I'm living in Terra Branca. I'm paying 6,000 escudo of rent. I don't have a mother. I don't have a father. I didn't want to go to Fogo because I know my father was going to criticize me of him sending me to America and I come back deported. So I didn't want to hear all these things. And eventually one day when I went there, that's exactly what happened. So I stayed in Praia. I said, I'm old enough to live on my own. I have done it all my life. I can do it here. So I started living on my own, paying rent. And I'm smoking marijuana, like 20, 30 bags of out here as the chumaltaco of 100 escudo. And I'm smoking like 30, 40 of it a day. And I don't even have money to buy it. And my sister is sending me $100 a month. And I'm paying $60 rent. I gotta buy food. I'm living with another deportee that I put in my house. He's smoking the marijuana that I'm buying. He's not helping me pay rent. He's helping me eat all my food. The food is not enough for me. I threatened my sister. I said, if you're not gonna take care of me, I'm gonna do something stupid to get by. If I have to do an assault, I'm gonna do it. So eventually she said, don't do nothing stupid. I'll do what I can to help you. I ended up selling marijuana to get by. And then I said, I gotta go to Fogo and meet my father. So I went to Fogo, I met my father, and he started criticizing me, logo on the spot, telling me, I put you in America, you and sister, and you put me to shame. You're starting to do all these stupid things. You gotta change your lifestyle. Look at how you came back. Now you gotta start again. And I said, this is the reason why I didn't want to come to my father. But I didn't tell him that in person. I said that inside of me. So I went And all of a sudden, I wanted to have a girl in my life because I remember being in America, I had a girlfriend. And when you're with a woman that knows what she wants in life, she's gonna help you to concentrate and be a person. So I met that girl. Her name was Lisette. Eventually, I took her from Fogo to Praia. We started constructing our lives. We started living our rent. We went through a lot of struggle. I told her to make pastel, donete, bala. And I told her, you make it, I sell it. Since I didn't have the shame and I was always a kid that knew how to, God gave me a gift of knowing how to sell things. I started selling. We started getting by. Eventually, I had a car in America that a friend of mine broke in the Suguru in America. He sent me the money, and I told my sister, 2,500, you buy it and things to sell, send me to sell, and you send me the rest and I'll buy things here. And eventually, I did some stupid things and I opened the store and I started making money, but I was still doing good things and bad things. And my girlfriend, which was Lisette, ended up getting pregnant. About a year later, we had our child, and I still stayed doing stupid things and part of some things. In the end, time went by. We was together for about 12 years. One day, my life was going through a lot of ups and downs, and things were not going good for me. I had a mini mercado that I came and got in a negative way. Let me just say, I got it through money that came from Satan. And eventually, when you get money that comes from Satan, it doesn't stay with you. It's gonna get out of your life just like it came. All kinds of people are gonna come into your life and they're gonna help you to spend that money. So I end up losing the store. But I thank God that we was able to make a house in Bella Vista. So now we're in Bella Vista. I'm looking at the store. Things are not going good. Me and my wife, we're not so together in a way that we're supposed to. We're not conversating to help us to do things that we had. And at the time, I had 2 children, a son and a daughter. And I remember my wife talking to me the day before I went and did, which would eventually come to change my life forever. She said, look at us. We got a car, 2 cars. We have a house. At the time, we got 3 stores. Don't do nothing stupid to go to prison or for us to lose all that we have. One day, God will bless us. I said, my wife, the only thing that will separate me from you is if I go to prison. It was like I prophesied at the time. So the next day, a friend had already spoke to me that he has a problem with somebody that he needs me to resolve his problem. Now I become the resolver of problems all of a sudden on a problem that has nothing to do with me. So I went to go resolve the problem. I went and I shot a guy with the objective to try to take his life. I shot him 6 times and I took out another gun. I shot him. This was in Praia Gamboa. And I thank God for the fact that I didn't kill the guy. The cops caught me and I went to prison. Time goes by. I'm in prison. I'm struggling in prison. My wife is struggling outside. They torture me in the prison. I got sick in the prison. My nephew dies in the prison. My friend that was doing a lot for me, that was helping me in the prison, they kill him. Eventually, my mother loses her head. They put her in a mental hospital. Other family members are dying. Eventually, my wife abandons me and tells me that she got another man, that she's pregnant, and that I cannot live in the house that mostly I constructed and she helped me construct it. Now I'm going through situations that, what do I do in life? Do I go forward? Do I give up? What am I going to do? I remember one day I'm in prison and 5 guards, they put me with the handcuffs on the floor and they put the boot of the work kit, on my face, and I'm on the floor, one side of the face on the floor, and the other side, he kept pressing his boot to my face, and eventually my face ripped and I'm bleeding all over the floor. I got handcuffs on the floor, and I remember the guard, he pulled all the way back his right foot, and my neck is stretched out open, and he kicked me in my neck, and I remember inside of me, my soul went like this. When a person does that, that means that he just died. And my neck broke. And I know for a fact, God is my witness, that I died at that moment. And the inner voice, which is the voice of the conscience, said, you want to kill my son, but you can't kill my son because I got a lot of work for him to do. And that same bone that cracked, which is this bone right here, it just went back together again, crack, just like it cracked. It went back together again. And all of them, all 5 guards are there mocking me. They put me with handcuffs for 3 hours. I'm bleeding. I'm feeling so much pain. I cannot breathe. After 3 hours being in the rec deck, I go to them, especially the one that kicked me, and I said, please, I can't breathe. I'm going through a hard time. Please untie my handcuffs. And eventually he felt touched. I guess God must have touched his heart. He took the handcuffs off. They put me in the hole, which is 24 hours of castigo. And he did that for about 16 days. After that, I came out. Everybody's pointing the finger at me that I'm nothing, that I'm a deported, that I try to kill somebody, I didn't do the job right, that I'm gonna stay in prison forever. Now imagine me, my nephew's dead, my mother's in a mental hospital, my friend that was helping me is dead, my wife just abandoned me, nobody's on my side, everybody's against me. I accept God in my life, I get baptized in the prison, I'm trying to teach people English, I'm trying to be a basketball coach, and I'm trying to talk to people about God, and all they want to do is hurt me, and hurt me more. I eventually come to find out that when you accept God in your life, it's a process that you have to go through of being the person that God wants you to be. And it's just like gold. When you find it, it's so rough, and you have to put it through the furnace for it to become the precious gold that it eventually turns to be. So all this is going with me, and I'm going through this process. Times go by. In 2021, I'm still in prison. No more wife, no more friend that was helping me. My family, I thank God, was touched in America, was helping me. And I had a store inside the prison that was helping me. It's illegal, but God permitted for me to have it to help myself and to help other people. Now in 2021, I'm talking to people about God. I'm a basketball coach. I win the chess tournament in prison. And I'm doing all these types of things to try to help people, and I get sick. And my testicles got so big, it was like 2 round little balloons, and I get paralyzed, and I'm in bed now for so long. I can't do things to help people. I can't sell the way I was selling, and I'm in bed. People have to go take their food, my food, to bring it to me. And I noticed that God started using me in a way that I'm praying for people that's out of the country, that's sick. They start healing, and prisoners start going to go visit me that was living a life of Satan. They starting to change their life because they seeing me in bed. They asking me every day, why are you in bed all this time? They didn't know that I was in so much pain, and I didn't want to let them know about my pain because I want to help them with their own pain. It's like I'm sucking everybody's pain, but nobody's helping me with my pain. So eventually, I thank God that in 2022, I was taken out of prison on parole. Until today, I'm on parole. It's been 18 months that I got out of prison. I don't have no woman in my life at the moment. I got a friend, and I got my children. I'll be honest, I'm going through a lot of difficult time, and I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to take care of my children. And what I do is I go around with a little carinho de mão. I sell like fresquinha that my daughter makes, and I sell it. And I sell things that come from Fogo. All of this came from me having $200, and I thank God that God blessed it, that today I thank God that I have a little store, and all the surrounding stores, they're having more success than me because of the fact that they go to bank and they get money. And I remember not too long ago, I helped my ex-wife get money from the bank for me, assinar procuração that she went to get money. When I came out, I asked her to assinar procuração for me to get money because we have a house that we have our names on it. I cannot do nothing without her permission. And she told me that she can't do that. It hurts my heart that I'm trying to live a better life and do things, but I'm not getting the help that I need. The only person that I see is helping me is God and the people that God touches. So I'm over here trying to make $4, $5 a day just to take care of myself and take care of my children. And at the same time, I'm going to prison to go visit other people. And the only thing I want to do is do for myself and do for other people. And I just want to be somebody in life. Throughout this whole video, my main purpose is to help other people. It's not about having money or try to bring attention to me. It's about the fact that all of us go through afflictions in life, but if we could focus, that better days will come, and we don't concentrate on the affliction, we concentrate on the fact that we're gonna get to where we wanna get to if we just concentrate and focus and say that, yes, the sun will shine after many days of rain. Yes, I could be in a tunnel for years and years and time, but at the end of the tunnel, there's always gonna be light. So if you believe that your struggles eventually will come to pass, God will give you the strength to go through what you go through, and eventually He will bless your life, because this is what He would like to do for you.
Wow. And we hear you with this positive outlook on life, but it takes a lot of strength to see the positive and the goodness of life as we going through difficult situations. But you had that whole experience in your lifetime of having to handle hardships. But I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about your transformation while in prison. We go through the most difficult and challenging and trying times, which help us build our character and makes us focus. And these are life-changing experiences. Like you said, you went to prison, and you had told your wife at that time that you had you called it a prophecy, that you had to go to prison to, in a way, save yourself. What does that mean? Like when you say you had to go there to find yourself, you lost yourself so you can find yourself. So how positive was that experience? Because we think prison, only bad things, but that's where you say you came to terms with your God. So many people don't understand the situation. Like, how do you find God in prison?
Okay. Situation is like this. Before I went to prison, like I said, the day before I went to prison, me and my wife was talking about how we have a lot of things that we didn't have in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I told her, this is the last thing I'm doing. I don't want to do nothing illegal no more. I just want to do this because I want to take us out of here so we could go to Canada and live there. And the money that they offered me will eventually help us to go there. At the moment, I was just thinking about the money. I was not thinking about the consequences. So I'm there. My wife tells me all these things that we have and how we struggle to get it. And I said, look, this is the last thing I'm doing. And I said, I'll tell you one thing, my wife. The only way that me and you are going to separate is if I go to prison. I said that I prophesied, not meaning that that's what I wanted to happen, but that's what happened, because I said the only way that I'm going to separate from you is if I go to prison, because I went to prison and years later we separated. So I'm in prison, and I remember the first day in prison, I was punched in the face by a guard. He punched me in the face because he's asking me, why did I do what I do? And I told him, this has nothing to do with you. I'm not here to be questioned about what I did. I'm here because I did what I did. I just want to relax my mind. I'm stressed. I don't want to talk right now. And then I remember the director talking about that for me to behave, otherwise that he'll kill me and I'll stay killed and nobody will notice that I was killed in prison. This is the director of the prison. So eventually, I'm in the new man unit, and I remember me and my daughter and my son, we were so attached to each other, and I remember I started feeling a sadness that I never felt in my life. Why did I do what I do? Why did I do that? I wasn't supposed to do that. I got my wife, I got my children. It has taken me from 1999 to 2012, which is 13 years of hard work to get to where I got to. Why did I do this? And it's hurting me because I'm not with my wife and my children. So now, it was 2012, I started crying. Somebody had taught me how to talk to God, which I never knew how to talk to God before. So I started talking to this God. And they say that sometimes in life, you have to go to struggles to find your peace, or to find your holy maker, or to find the only one that could comfort you. And at this time, I don't have nobody. I don't have my wife. I don't have my mother. I don't have no friends. I'm by myself and I'm crying and I'm asking God every single day, about 20, 30 times a day, oh God, forgive me. Oh God, forgive me. Oh God, forgive me for what I have done. I didn't want to do this. Why did I do this? I didn't understand why I did what I did. The only thing I know is that I did it and now I'm paying for the consequences. So I'm there. I'm crying, I'm crying, I'm crying. All of a sudden one day the God comes to me, he takes me and he starts hitting me with this stick. That's which eventually led to where they took me to mock me and beat me up the way they did. So afterwards, I'm here crying a lot. I'm crying a lot. I'm starting to go through so much struggles. I don't have nobody to comfort me, nobody to talk to me, and everybody's pointing the finger at me because of what I have done. So everybody's separating from my life. All the friends that I had when I was outside, because I had cars, because I had store, because I had a motorcycle, because I had money to let them borrow that they never paid me back, they're all out of my life no more. They say in life that it's in the cemetery, it's in the hospital, it's in prison that you will know who your true friends are. And I came to find out in prison that my friends was not my friends. There was just people that needed me because of the things that I had. So now I have nobody that's helping me in prison. I have a wife that every time she go visit me, all she wants to do is say, I'm nobody, I'm nothing, I'll never be nobody, I'll never be nothing, that all I know how to do is make mistakes in life. And I passed that from 2012 to 2015. 3 years of her just mocking me and pointing the finger at me. And then I'm over here, I started reading the Bible, and the Bible is starting to touch my heart. People are starting to talk to me about God. I'm hearing, how you say, prayers, and I'm hearing singing of God, and things that's starting to bother me and move me in a way that I want to know about a new life. I hear about Jesus. I started to read the Bible about how Jesus transformed people's life in the Bible. And I said, if Jesus could do this to people, he could do this to me. Jesus, I want this in my life. And I started asking Jesus, and I started talking to God. And all of a sudden, I started seeing the change. And now, I'll be honest, I went through a lot of afflictions because of the fact that I accepted God in my life. Even my wife told me that I'm crazy. I talk about God too much. I said, why didn't you tell me I was crazy when I was selling drugs, when I was doing wrong things, when I was going around doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing? How come all of a sudden I'm talking about God, you're saying that I'm crazy? If this is me being crazy, I want to be crazy for the rest of my life, because this is what God has called me for, to talk to people about God and to let people know that there's a living God that gave me a chance to find him, and he gave me a chance to start my life again. So this is what I want.
Yes, because to them it's foolishness. Things of this world is really important to them. Like you said, you were doing all these negative things when nobody was trying to stop you. And now you're talking about the spiritual awakening, and they're calling you crazy. So in a sense, you have to choose now which master to serve or which path to kind of follow. And it's critical because that's keeping you together right now, because you have to make choices now. Now you're struggling financially, but you remember all the spiritual struggling you went through. So you know when you make certain choices, you run the risk of going back. So you constantly, see that's the thing of when you make these spiritual decisions, you have these challenges, and the challenges come in the form of the people who are dearest to you or us. They're the ones who are the non-believers. They're the ones who will question you. They're the ones who will kind of try to block you or make an obstacle and try to stop you from getting to your, the promised land, if you want to call it that. So to those who are listening right now, like, what can you say to inspire them to understand after they heard your whole life story and you're still struggling, but you wake up every day, like I said, with a positive outlook on life, and you're still trying? Like, what can you tell them so they can kind of reach deep down and find that source of strength to keep going.
Okay. One thing I say is I always use this example that a lot of people that knows how to ride a bike, they never just got on a bike and started riding it. They started riding it, they fell, they got back up, scratching their knees, scratching their elbow, and everything else, till they dominated that bicycle, that they became a good rider. In life, you're gonna go through so much struggles, just like when you go on the bike trying to dominate it. You're gonna fall, you're gonna get up, but what's important, don't stay on the floor. Get back and try again. Get back up and try again. If you fall 1,000 times, get back up 2,000 times. If you're crying today and you cry tomorrow and you cry the next day, there's eventually gonna be a day that you're gonna smile. And me, I have gone through all this struggle, and most of my struggle was me that led myself to my struggles because of the fact of the wrong choices that I made in life. I don't wanna use my situations to give an excuse for me doing what I did. I made wrong choices in life and eventually I paid for it, but my whole objective is to show people that in life, you're always gonna go through difficult times because of the fact that we're living in a sinful world. So we're gonna make wrong choices and it's gonna make us go through a lot of difficulties. Either we make wrong choices or right choices, we're gonna go through struggles. But what's important is to learn from our mistakes, to learn from our struggles and ask ourselves, why am I going through this? What's the meaning? Is God trying to teach me something with this? I come to see that I did 10 years, 3 years, and 10 years, 3 months. Sorry, I made a mistake. 10 years, 3 months, and 50 days in prison. But I eventually come to find out that I didn't go to prison. I went to school. I went to school for 10 years, 3 months, and 15 days. And I read over 200 books. I became the chess champion in prison. I became the champion of the basketball team that I led to the championship in prison. And I became a man that helped a lot of people that was using drugs, stop using drugs. And I talked to so many people that thanks to God, they baptized through God using me, to them seeing my life changed in prison and me becoming a new person. And I remember my friend, my best friend, I don't want to say his name to not put him into no problems. He's in prison. He told me, nobody in prison believes you. They don't know you like I know you. We was born together, we was raised together. I know for a fact God changed your life because I see the change. They cannot talk about you because they don't know who you was. So when they see this change, they don't know who you was yesterday for them to say this. But I know you, and I know for a fact that God changed your life. And it made me feel happy that at least somebody saw that I'm telling the truth. So, as I say, what I say is this. Everybody's going to go through difficult moments in life. Once again, I like to use the Bible. There's a verse in the Bible that says, a cry will come in the night, but happiness will come in the day. Meaning that there's going to be difficult times, but there's going to be happy times. So use those difficult times to help you to build your character. That way, when the good time comes, you'll look at it and you'll know what to do. Imagine me, if I did 10 years in prison, 3 months and 15 days, I went through so much struggle, through so much difficult, I made it out of there, and I actually saw 28 people die in prison with me in there. And some of them, I even took the rope from their neck to stop them from killing themselves. And all these people, all they wanted to do was end their problem, not their life. And they ended up doing it the wrong way. And I thank God that I didn't do that, and I'm still struggling. I'm going through a difficult time. But me, I have an inner faith that God gave me that will tell me that one day I will make it out of this situation. And my main goal in life is to help as many people as possible to find God and to help them with this situation. That if they don't have a bag of rice, if I have it, I want to give it to them. If they don't have a bottle of oil, they don't have it, I want to give it to them. But at the time, I'm struggling. And I'm over here going to prison to visit different people in prison. It costs money for me to go there. I hardly have the money. That money, I could use it to buy a bag of rice, a kilo of chicken, but I have to do what God wants me to do because I've been there and I know the struggles, so I have to do what has to be done to help people. And the main focus is no matter what happens in your life, understand that there's a God that will help you get through your bad moments in life and better days will come. Just believe in yourself and believe in God. And trust me, if I went through it until today I'm here, believing that better days is going to come for me, you can do the same thing and you will come out of this a winner. Believe in yourself and believe in God.
And for those who are doubting and the haters per se, or those who are saying, it's only a matter of time before you get back to that lifestyle, that old lifestyle. What can you tell to the young crowd, the young ones who are trying to change, and yet they hear these things all the time? Oh, you ain't no good. You're going to get back to what you were doing. What you're doing right now, what you're saying right now sounds good, but you know you're just faking it, or you know it's just a phase you're going through. You know, like I said, what's the inspiration that you get from these challenges? Because people close to you will tell you these things. People around you will tell you these things. Like, I know you. This is not you. You're the gangster. You're the killer. You're the hater. You're the destroyer of society. Inspire someone right now that's listening to you. When they hear these things and they trying to change, what do you tell your doubters? What you say back to them?
What I have to say is this, that in life, there's always going to be a lot of people that's going to throw negative words at you to try to tell you that you will not be amount to be nobody. I'll give you a personal example in the life of Joseph of Egypt. He had so many brothers that hated him, and he had a dream of becoming somebody one day, and the dream didn't come from him, it came from God. My dream doesn't come from me, it comes from God. When you have an inner, how you say, sense of wanting to do something so much, and it keeps coming at you, chasing you, it doesn't come from you. It comes from God. And that's the God that wants you to bring it forward. So Joseph of Egypt, he had this dream of becoming great and helping as many people as possible. And what God did was use them to go through so much difficulty in life. And even his own family, which was his brothers, hated him and wanted to kill him, his dream. So in life, there's always going to be people that's going to tell you you're not going to be nothing, just like my teacher did. But I remember Jacob, his father, told him, you're going to be somebody in life. So he had somebody that invested in him. I have people that invest in me, which is, I said, the guy that said, can I hug you? You're going to be somebody in life. I have people from America that call me and tell me, do the video. You're doing great. You're going to have success. I have Jorginho, filho de Braz Andrade, that's encouraged me when he tells me, my friends, buy mango from this guy. Buy fresquinha from him. Help him to buy his car future-wise. And I have him saying, yo, let's make the video. I want to help you in any way I can to help you achieve your goals. So when I have, let's say, 3, 4 people that are willing to invest into my dreams with words, with hugs, and with just things that will inspire me, it overcomes all the other 200, 300, 400 people that's always telling me negative things that I'm not going to amount to be nothing. And I have my secret weapon. I have God that I talk to every day that encourages me, that gives me strength, that always tells me that I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to be honest. Nobody sees my icebergs that I go through. I cry nearly every day. I got back pains. I got a lot of health problems. And I go through so much struggles. But I don't give up because I believe that by God using me and inspiring me and giving me the courage to wake up every day. When I look at other people, they're on wheelchairs. There are people sleeping in beds in hospital. There are people nearly dying, but they're trying. Why can I not try? And I got feet and I got hands, I got eyes, and I'm still able to do things. So what I want to say is this, that all the people that want to tell me that that will not amount to be nothing, the only thing that I can tell you is that I got a lot of love for you, and I ask God to forgive you for your doubts, for your negative thinking of me. I know who I am, and the only way that I'm going to prove myself is by me living. And people will see the live in me, and they will eventually come to say one day, sooner or later, that Roki is not faking it. Roki is not being an actor. Roki is not playing a film. He's actually telling the truth. Imagine a person that had so many ways of making money. I was making tens of thousands of dollars a day in America, and I know so many negative ways of making money. There's people that has told me in my life, when I came out here, they offered me 3 kilos of cocaine. They have offered me jobs that pay so much money. I said, no, I'd rather serve my God. I'm over here struggling to make 600, 500 escudo a day, making fresquinha and selling drops. And I'm comfortable with it because at the end of the night, I'm not worrying about nobody trying to kill me because I'm selling drugs or doing other things. And I say to myself, I'm at peace. I love myself because I'm doing it the positive way and not the way I was doing it before. So my advice to you is, do not give up. Better days will come. And if it's possible, I will say again, if anybody wants to reach out to me in any way for me to give you encouraging words or help you with a hug or help you in a way that I can, in any kind of way. I don't have money, but if I have $2, maybe I could give you $1 and I could keep $1. So what I want to say to you is this. I have my number. If you're in another country, you could pull 00238-977-3615. Or if you're in Cabo Verde, 977-3615, que é 977-36115. Nós tá chamando, luta chinta, luta conversa. We could sit down and talk, and we could see what we can do for you to really understand that I'm not making this up. Every single thing that I have talked in this video is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And God is my witness. And even this person that's interviewing me, he knows for the fact that a lot of things that I talk about is the truth because he knows my story. Even his mother's a good friend of mine, and they know that I'm telling the truth. And my main objective is to help other people.
Yes. And that's amazing how you even said it. Because I was about to ask you, like, if anybody want to help you out, and you just went right into if they want to reach out. And anybody that's listening, just we'll leave all the context below, like Facebook, Rocky's Facebook account, or any other social media outlet that you can, or you can leave a message on YouTube, and we'll get back to you. And like he said, on any kind of way, on any level, a hug, encouraging words, if you want to help them financially, anything, just we here. Anything will be welcome, really, because the main purpose is not to ask for help, but to reach out and give. You know, this energy, this godly energy to people. That's why he's doing it. But in any kind of way, if you feel touched by his story and you want to help out, like we said, we're here, and anything is welcome, like we said, because it comes from the heart, and we know many people will be inspired by the story, and we're glad to be servers and to serve, because that there isn't a higher purpose than this calling to serve our community and to reach out and find our greatness, because in helping others, we only helping ourselves, and that's the divine calling. That's really what I want to say. So what's the last final? I don't want to say final because we are going to keep doing more videos, and Rocky's going to keep talking and bringing positive messages onto our community for so many more years to come. But for today, what's in your heart right now that you want to leave with our people today?
The main purpose in my life ever since a little child was to help people. And that's what I did with my mother and did with many people. I remember me at a lot of times, I used to rob people, but I never liked it to hurt them. All I wanted to do was get at the moment what I needed to take care of my needs in terms of to take care of my bad habits. I ask God to forgive me. If anybody that's watching this video that I probably did something to you or to your family, please forgive me. It wasn't my objective to do that. The only thing that I could say is that in the end, the good will always eventually win, and that you'll go through your struggles, but believe in yourself, believe in God. Let God be a part of your life, because God is the owner of everything in the universe. And if God, being our Father, is willing to give everything that a child needs with accordance to his will and plans, if we be obedient to our Father, I'm definitely sure that our Father, at the time that He knows best, He will give us what we need. But we need to understand that in life, we're gonna go through difficulties because it's a part of life. But use that difficulty to make you see that if you could go through a difficult day and you win that, what are you gonna be able to do when you go through good moments? If I can take 10 years of prison that I went through so much struggle, so much debts in my family, so much debts of friends, and so many difficult things, and people that I actually thought would be on my side all abandoned me, and today I'm still standing, those are all moments of hardship for my life, ever since a little kid. So if I could go through that, what am I eventually able to do when good ships come to me, when good moments come to me?
Wow. Blessed. We are only thankful and honored to really share these moments with every single one, spirit and soul, because we're trying to inspire ourselves and in spite of ourselves, actually, and we're trying to be better individuals, better beings, better fathers, better citizens, better people as we share these stories with the world, and we're trying to inspire others as we inspire ourselves, trying to do and show the world the goodness that we carry and the goodness that we learn every day, because we're in a world where negativity is promoted every second. Children are dying from starvation worldwide. Children are dying from exploitation. Children are being sexually exploited. Women are being raped. People are being murdered. Thousands or millions have died as we spent the time here talking about doing this introspect on our lives. So we want to be mindful of those who are struggling right now, and also understand how thankful we are to be here, present in this time, to give a testimony of this greatness, actually, for those depending on your religion, whatever you want to call it. For the Muslims, you call it Allah. For the Christians, you call it God. Even those who even say you claim you don't believe in God, feel this energy, feel this power, feel this calling, feel this understanding of transformation and the power of transformation. How a man can go from sadness, pain as a child, to a totally decadent lifestyle, a criminal lifestyle, a life full of bad energy, terrible consequence of living the wrong way, the wrong path he took. But yet in prison, he found himself, he found his God, he found a higher calling, and he's gonna keep on struggling every day. But throughout the struggle, he will find a meaning and a purpose in life. So we thankful for all in life. Yes, Roki. Bless.